Good morning students, welcome all of you to the chemistry online classes. So in our last class we have discussed about the different terms definitions, that is like electrophile, nucleophile, carbocation, carbanion, okay. And in today's class we are going to discuss about the electron movement in organic reactions and electron displacement effects in the covalent bond. So, see here, during any reaction, the formation of the bond, the breaking of the bond, all will going to be takes place. This all involves the bonds, that bonds are formed with the help of the electrons. Okay. So, I said you already, whenever a bond is shown that involves the electron, when the electrons are involved, then only there is a formation of the bond will going to be takes place. So, here we want to discuss about the electron movement. As I said you, electron movement is represented by the arrow mark, So, during the reactions the shifting will going to be occurs, it means the electron shift, it is nothing but the bond shift only. Okay. For example, let me tell you here, suppose H2 is the molecule which is formed by the two hydrogen atoms, yes or no? When the two atoms combine with each other, there is a formation of the molecule. So, let me take, this is the one hydrogen, this is the one hydrogen. When the two hydrogen atoms will going to be combined with each other, there is a formation of the hydrogen molecule, yes or no? So, this H2 molecule, shall I represent like this, yes or no? It indicates what? This hydrogen contributes one of its electron and this hydrogen also contributes one of its electron. When these shared pair of the electrons connect with each other, there is a formation of the bond. It means the bond is nothing but electrons are involved in there. If electron is shifting, bond is shifting, means electrons are moving there. That is the meaning of the movement of the electron, that is bond shift also we can able to say. During the reaction the shifting will going to be takes place due to the electron distribution or due to the reactivity, the bond will going to be shift. So, then how it will going to be shift or what will be the effect, that we are going to discuss here. See here, this is the double bond, this you may consider any, generally I have represented as Y, it means it may be any atom. It may be any atom. So, when this bond is shifted here, so what happens? This will be a single bond. Why? As it is here, it will be a double bond. So, from which type of the displacement it is? From a pi bond to the adjacent bond position. It means this is the pi bond, it is shifted to the adjacent bond position. So, this is how the displacement will going to be takes place in first case. So, in the next case, the pi bond, from pi bond is shifted to an atom. It is the pi bond itself is shifted to this atom. So, here the lone pair of the electrons are represented. It means what? This pi bond, from pi bond to adjacent atom, the shifting occurs. So, in case of the third case, this from this atom, from the atom, the electrons are shifted to the adjacent bond position. So, during that time, here there is a formation of the double bond will going to be takes place. Simple. Possibility they have shown in three cases. In first case, the pi bond, this pi bond is shifted to the adjacent, it is shifted to the adjacent position. So, in the second case, the pi bond is shifted to the adjacent atom, it is shifted to the adjacent atom, that is what it is shown here. And in case of the third, from the atom the electrons are shifted to the adjacent position, from the atom electrons are shifted to the adjacent bond position, we can able to say here. Okay. So, this is how we can explain little idea regarding the electron movement or bond shifting. Okay. So, let us go for the important bit of the topic, that is electron displacement effects in the covalent bonds. Electron displacement effects in the covalent bond. First of all, I need to tell you that what is covalent bond. Covalent bond is the bond which is formed by the mutual sharing of the electrons. See here, just now I have said you explanation, that is formation of the H2 molecule, how it is formed. Two hydrogens shared their electrons. It means this hydrogen also got 2 electrons and this hydrogen also got 2 electrons. According to the stable configuration, it obeys the helium configuration. So, the mutual sharing, ಎರಡು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಂದ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗತೈತಿ. ಈ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಒಂದು ತನ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕೊಡಾಕತೈತಿ, ಈ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ತನ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಾಕತೈತಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ದಿಂದ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಬಾಂಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ, ಕೋವೆಲೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದ ಬಾಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ by the mutual sharing of the electrons, such a type of the bond is called as covalent bond. And now we are discussing about that bonds like covalent bond, ionic bond, coordinate bond, that we are going to discuss in your chemical bonding chapter. And now I want to tell you that briefly, I want to explain to you what is covalent bond. Now, the electron displacement effect in the covalent bond we are discussing, and this electron displacement effect is also called as electronic effect. It is also called as electronic effect because it involves the electrons, because it involves the electron. Okay. And I said you the reaction, any reaction, here the reactant gets converted into product, but actually the reactant directly does not get converted into product. So, what happens here? The reactant part involves both the substrate and reagent. One substrate must be there and one attacking reagent must be there. So, when these two interact with each other, there is a formation of the intermediate. First, there is a formation of the intermediate. That intermediate gets converted into product and byproduct. The intermediate may be carbocation, carbanion, free radical, or anything that it will going to further convert it into product. So directly it seems like the reactant get converted into product, but there is a breaking of the bond takes place, there is a shifting of the bond takes place, there is a electron redistribution or distribution will going to be takes place. So, these all effects will going to give a brief idea regarding such a processes. So, we will discuss about the electron displacement effects, which is mainly due to the involvement of the electron or displacement of the electron or distribution of the electron. So, let us go for the electronic effects. So, there are mainly 4 types of the electronic effects are there. Okay. And in that, first one is inductive effect, second one is mesomeric or resonance effect, third one is hyperconjugation effect, and last one is electromeric effect. And these 3 are the permanent effects. These 3 are the permanent effect, and the last one is the temporary effect. So, sometimes name the electronic effects also they will going to ask you. Okay. Mainly they will ask you what do you mean by inductive effect, mesomeric. Sometimes in rare cases mention the electronic effects, they will ask you directly, you can write inductive effect, mesomeric effect, or hyperconjugation, or electromeric effect. So, let us go for the inductive effect first. The inductive effect is shortly denoted by I effect. Okay. Inductive effect is shortly written as I effect. So, whenever the carbon chain consisting of the electronegative atom, the carbon chain consisting of the electronegative atom, it means what? See here, suppose this is the carbon chain, this is the carbon chain, and this is attached to an atom. This atom is electronegative. It means electronegativity, it means what? The atom X has the capacity to drag the shared pair of electrons towards itself. ಅಂದ್ರ ಇದು ಮೋರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತೈತಿ ನಾ ಹೇಳತ್ತಿರೋದು. ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅದರದ್ದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅದ್ರ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿನ ಏನ್ರಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಕೈತ್ರಿ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇದು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಓಕೆ, and that is X is the more electronegative atom. So when these drags the electron towards itself, it will going to get the more that is partially negative charge. Partial negative charge it will going to get because it drags the electron, because it drags electron itself. What about this carbon? This carbon gets the partial positive charge as electron density is less, and this carbon it involves the little less positiveness. This is the effect is little more positive, and after third carbon the effect will be negligible. Here it is negligible. Okay, see here, when the electronegativity difference is there, when this atom is more electronegative as compared with the carbon, it means what? There is a electronegativity difference. So this has the capacity to drag the electrons towards itself, means obviously it develops a negative charge, that is not complete negative charge, partial negative charge. This symbol is delta. This symbol is delta, which is used for the partial. It means not complete, partial. It will going to get the negative charge, and this carbon will going to get the partial positive charge, and the next carbon will going to get little. It means effect is little here for the next carbon. Directly which carbon is attached for them? For that carbon the effect will be more, and for next carbon it will be a less, and for further next carbon it will be a more less. Then after 3 carbons the effect will be negligible. Okay, and this is how the I effect will going to be takes place. Suppose this X is any metal, suppose this X is any metal, during that time what happens? During that time what happens? This metal itself donates the electron towards the carbon. So here it is more electronegative, it drags the electron. Here if this metal only donates the electron towards the carbon, means this carbon gets the partial negative and this gets the partial positive charge. Okay, and what about this carbon? It will going to get little negative, it will going to get little more negative, and after third carbon the effect will be negligible. After third carbon the effect will be negligible. So here one atom is electron, it means electron withdrawing, and one more is electron giving, one more is electron giving. So depending upon these two, the I effect is further classified into 2 category. One is plus I effect, one more is minus I effect. That we will discuss. First you need to know what is an inductive effect. Definition. So what is the definition? It is the permanent effect. What is inductive effect? Inductive effect is the permanent effect produced. How it is produced? By the displacement of the shared pair of electron. The shared pair of electrons are displacing. Yes or no? The shared pair of the electrons are displacing along the carbon chain. Along the carbon chain, when an atom or group of atoms have the different electronegativity, when the atom or group of atom having the different electronegativity is attached to the carbon chain. Are you getting? ಏನಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಟಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಅದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇವು ಎರಡೂತ್ರ ನಡುವೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಎರಡೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ರು ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ರೀ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಎರಡೂದ್ರಾಗೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. So it is the permanent effect. What is the inductive effect? The definition will be asked for you people, and how to define it? It is the permanent effect. It is the permanent effect which is produced. How it is produced? By the displacement of the shared pair of the electron along the carbon chain. Along the carbon chain, when the atom or group of atoms have the different electronegativity is attached to the carbon chain. So this is how we can explain about the inductive effect. So we are discussing about the electron displacement effects. So the electron displacement effects are due to the electron movements, or mainly due to the electron distribution, we can able to say. Then mainly we want to there are four types: inductive effect, mesomeric effect, and then hyperconjugation and electromeric effect. In that we are discussing about the inductive effect. So how inductive effect will going to be takes place when there is a electronegativity difference is there in between the carbon and another atom along the carbon chain. So this will going to drag the electron towards itself. This will going to drag the electron towards itself. So when it will going to drag the electron towards itself, so it gets the partial negative charge, and the direct carbon which is attached to it get the partial positive charge, and the carbon which is next to this carbon will little less, effect is little less as compared with this carbon, and for this carbon it is a little more less as compared with this and this carbon, and after 3 carbons the effect will be negligible. Okay, and there are two possibilities. One, this atom has the capacity to drag the electron. During that time one eye effect will be produced, and in another case, if any metal is attached here, it has the capacity to give the electron. So when it gives the electron here, means this will going to get the positive charge, while this carbon gets the partial negative charge. And I said you the direct carbon has the more effect as compared with the rest carbons. This has a more this has a little less effect. This is having a more little less effect as compared with this carbon, and after 3 carbons the effect will be negligible. After 3 carbons the effect will be negligible. So this is how we are going to explain about the inductive effect. So next we will discuss about the types of the inductive effect, that is plus I effect and minus I effect. So this is the inductive effect which we can able to explain. So let us go for the, I said you there are different 2 types of the inductive effect, that is minus I effect and plus I effect. So let us go for studying one by one. First, that is a negative inductive effect. It is also called as a minus I effect. So when the minus I effect is produced, so you just look at this one. See here, this is the carbon and this is the group, and this group, suppose the attached group in the carbon chain is more electronegative as compared with the carbon. When the attached group is more electronegative as compared with the carbon, it drags the shared pair of electron, it develops the partial negative charge on it, and it creates a partial positive charge on the carbon. Such a type of the effect is called as minus I effect. So minus I effect ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಕೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಮೋರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಟಮ್ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಶೇರ್ಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಕತ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ರೀ, ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಕೈತಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮೈನಸ್ more electronegative ಇರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೋದು ನೋಡ್ರಿ. NO2, CN, F ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ CH3 F ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿಲ್ಲೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಏನ್ರಿ ಮೋರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ NO2, CN, F, COH, Cl, all these shows the minus I effect. And the reactivity, if you look at the reactivity, so ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is more reactive as compared with this, as compared with this. Okay, so this is how we can explain about the minus I effect. Simple concept. ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನ್ ಒಳಗ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನನ್ನು ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನನ್ನು ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಕೈತಿ. ಆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಕೈತ್ರಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಕೈತಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ದೀವ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. So these are the groups. Alkyl groups will going to show. This is the alkyl group C, CH3 3 times, CH, CH3 twice, CH2, CH3 and CH3. So all these are the alkyl groups which can shows the plus I effect. So actually plus I effect, how it follow or how it will occur here, whenever in the carbon chain any atom is attached and suppose this atom has the capacity to donate the electron. Suppose ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ವಾಯ್ಗೆ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಬದಲಿ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ. when this has the desire to donate the electron towards the carbon, means during that time this substituent gets the partial positive charge while our carbon gets the negative charge. Such effect is called as positive inductive effect. Positive, ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೈತಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ತನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಐ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇಸ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ, ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಎರಡೂ ಥರ ನಡು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಒಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮ್ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಆದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮ್ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾದರೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಇಂಥ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಅದು ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಆ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು plus I effect ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So this is how we can, and alkyl group shows the plus I effect. This is how we can explain about the types of the inductive effect, that is plus I effect and minus I effect. Okay, so if we look at the inductive effect overall, ಸೊ ಓವರಾಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬರ್ದೀವ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ covered points? First point, inductive effect is the, here I have kept a space for the definition you only write. Simple, what I said you. So suppose the attached group is electronegative, it has the capacity to donate the electron towards the carbon, then the carbon gets a partial negative charge and that atom gets a partial positive charge. Such a process or such a effect is known as plus I effect. Similarly for minus I effect. Okay, so what are the covered points here? Inductive effect is the permanent effect. It is the permanent effect and it does not depend upon the attacking reagent. It does not worry about whatever the attacking reagent. It will going to be takes place and it is the permanent effect. And here it decreases with increasing the distance. See here, already said you, suppose okay, this is positive. So, here effect will be okay, one for one level. Suppose for this carbon it is decreasing, for this carbon it is decreasing, yes or no? When the distance is increasing, effect is decreasing. When the distance is increasing, effect will be decreasing. So, that is the point, the inductive effect decreases with increasing the distance. And as the partial electron displacement takes place, not complete, as the partial electron displacement takes place, the partial charges are developed. Okay, the partial charges are partial electron distribution or electron displacement, not distribution. Partial electron displacement will going to be takes place, so the partial charges are developed. Okay, and then here. It is operated through sigma electrons. It is operated through the sigma electrons. And last, if we consider alkyl group, that is plus I effect in case of the alkyl group, tertiary alkyl group shows the more I effect as compared with the secondary, as compared with the primary. So, this is how we can explain about the inductive effect and the types of the inductive effect. And the homework for you is write the difference between plus I effect and minus I effect. I explained already. Only the thing you have to point which are making the difference between the plus I effect and minus I effect, that I am giving you as a homework that you should complete. I hope so this concept is clear. In the electron displacement effects, we discussed about the inductive effect and types of the inductive effect and what is the characteristics of the inductive effect. And further few more concept, that is few more effects, we will continue in our next class. Until that, keep watching the video and note down the points whichever I have written on the board. Okay, thank you.